As heavy as a motherfucker. Check it out.
All right, this is Jimmy Cab's Tape to Broadcast, the 5150 interview series in Bulldozer magazine on Halloween night with the indestructible Phil Anselmo and your knee. How is your knee?
It's busted, so after this gig, it's a 2-day ride home and right back to the MRI too, but at least it's a familiar place, you know. Almost at home there. I could probably order out, you know, some food, rest in the tube, listen to Danzig's through the headphones.
I think it's important to mention that we are all humans, and especially at our age, even though we are heavy, our bones are not.
Well, my skeleton has betrayed me more times than I can count, and I'm not counting right now, so fuck it, the show will go on.
There we go.
Just like it is every night.
Let's talk about Superjoint.
Let's do it.
One thing that was interesting for me way back in 1990, I think I got the demo in 1994. I don't know why I wrote 95 here. One of the things that was interesting for me at that time was the fact that during that pivotal point in music, the collaboration that you had with Jimmy and so forth, especially at the time when you started playing with Hank III, the aggressiveness, the rawness of it, it was so very distinctive from what you had been known to prior to that. Here we are now. My question to you is why did Superjoint disappear, and what made you bring it back now to 2014, 15?
Well, it was, if you look back at the old footage or the old press or anything like that, Jimmy and I were going through heavy drug problems. I was fucking pre-back surgery, so I was on every fucking drug you could fucking point at. And, you know, and we were all going through a lot of turbulent times. However, nonetheless, Superjoint was fun, as much as I can remember of it. And the fan base was great and perfect because along with Jim, along with the original drummer, along with Kevin Bond, we started Superjoint really in a greedy way to get me back into smaller sized rooms, because at the time Pantera were playing huge ass arenas and all that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but I missed the intimacy of the small room.
Yeah.
And that was the original, sure, let's do Superjoint reason. And I guess the latest reason took a whole lot. Latest reason to come back and play music is what I mean. Took a whole lot of arm twisting from my now deceased co-founder Corey Mitchell, who rest in peace, the hardest working man at the Housecore Horror and Film Fest. He really wanted, because year one we had Down play and also the Illegals play, and he kept begging Superjoint. I'm like, man, there ain't no way. There's no way. I want to put those years past us. So finally got down to crunch time. And so I said, look, let me ask Jimmy. So I asked Jimmy. And he said, yeah, man, fuck Killers. You know, I'm like, God damn, all right.
It really all came down to power, man.
Yeah, man, it was like that easy. But once we got in the room, we got the drummer that we wanted. We got the blessing from Hank. And in all reality, Hank's our third bass player. Kevin started out as a bass player. Mike Hager from a band called Dead Horse, an awesome band from Houston in the 80s and whatnot. Played bass on the first record, and Hank came along on the second record. So with this group now, really it's like Blue from the Illegals plays drums because he's
War Beast Blue for those.
Yeah, War Beast Blue, Illegals Blue, and Steve Taylor plays bass, and me and Steve been writing new Illegals, and he played bass on the first Illegals and on those tours and whatnot. So getting that core group of guys together and then having everybody learn the songs, once we were in the fucking jam room, it was like, this is fun. Yeah. This is fun, you know?
The organic, creative, real jamming session must have came in.
With clear minds this time. With clear minds. And, you know, the fact that it was fun, the fact that we went and headlined Hellfest, one of the stages in France, one of the biggest festivals in Europe. Always treats us well. Great place. Went and headlined there. It was our first show in Europe. It was awesome. And then, you know, we started getting offers here and there, and you know, I've known Glenn Danzig, that is, since about 1990, and he's always taken me under his black wing, you know, and he's always been a big brother to me, man, and this is something there's no way I would pass up ever. And right now with Down being made of many different parts, of course, another band, Pepper's doing COC right now, and me and Jimmy, you know, we got time to do this Superjoint, and it's been 5-week tour, and aside from injuries and shit like that, which you know, after a while I get so fucking used to it. It's like the second my eyes open in the morning, it's like, welcome back, pain. Yeah, at least I know I'm alive, you know. And then, so anyway, it's other than that, it's been great. Crowds have been great. Danzig's been great. All the other fucking bands. I've known Tommy, Victor, Prong, Danzig guitar player for even longer than Danzig himself. So we've all known each other almost about 20-something years going on, you know, more or less. But yeah, this has been a blast, man.
How are you enjoying playing Superjoint material now? Because you mentioned now everybody's older, wiser, cleaner.
Oh yeah.
When you're cleaner, not that I'm a drug counselor, but when you're cleaner, I've had my own experiences. You appreciate shit more, man. You see things more clear, and you definitely see the reaction. How are you enjoying your songs being interpreted and absorbed now to these hungry fucking kids that have access now and have a hunger for heavy music?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because we played Sacramento last night, and there was a whole. It was a small club, but it was roomy enough. It was actually perfect to where they had a whole section taped off for braceleted kids that were underage, and I was fucking amazed at how many of them were there and gave a fuck. And as far as the rest of the audience went, everybody's singing the words to the songs that are 2 minutes long and shit like that. It reminded me of the good old days of growing up and watching hardcore and heavy metal mesh together and shit like that. And it feels great. And we're writing new stuff right now that I think is very fucking true to what Superjoint is, what Superjoint does, and hopefully we'll be done by next year, man. So, like you say, looking out into that audience, the appreciation I feel is mega. It's tremendous. It's flattering, really, and I much appreciated.